pull the Zoom tables here and talk about my decision making. Hopefully this is valuable and you can give me some feedback. So we'll be folding 6-9 off, facing any raise, and defending king queen off, especially against somebody who looks to be a fish. This is a 3-bet here, 4x. I think I will call once here with backdoors and overs. And I will probably try and steal if he checks. Some showdown value. Maybe we'll just check and fold here. I think that probably should have been a 3-bet. I think facing weaker opponents I would open this, but with a tagged, we'll open it. Bad end of an open-ender plus a flush draw. I think we will be betting our range mostly on this board for a small sizing. In position. For this raise size we can call. Could be repping 7-8. He might have, we certainly got all combos with 7-8 suited. That's a big bet. Could have 7s. Could have 10-8 even suited. He's got a lot of value here. And no flush draw on the board, so we will fold. Could even have a straight. Fold. We will call an open for 2.2 big blinds here, especially with that fish in the middle. Actually tempted to squeeze here. It's got a pretty low RFI for VPIP. Maybe just fold. We will open 3.5 big blinds and try and get some folds here. But this is a pretty decent hand in this position. Wouldn't defend 9-3 off, facing any open, even small blind for a small. It's just too bad a hand. We'll be 3-betting this versus a cutoff open for sure. I'm going to squeeze here. We will squeeze to 15 big blinds. And we'll open this to 3.5 big blinds here. And hopefully get some action. I'll 3-bet this facing a button open, or obviously open myself. Our hand benefits from some protection. This board also, we're just going to get a lot of folds from. I think we're going to go even less than, I'm going to go like 25% pot here. Just try and fold out overs and make it simpler to continue. King jack off isn't open from the button. So expect we fold out most of his jack X, given he's not going to have flush draws or even straights that are connecting with the jack very often. So I'm going to continue again for a bet. I want to get called by ace high, maybe smaller pocket pairs. Facing a raise here. I mean, he's repping a 7. He has lots of them. But probably not any more than I do, and I'm uncapped. I do think I will call once here. It's a better call for my range than his, but I will check and fold to a river bet. Here we will ISO raise with a good hand in position. So he's obviously saying he has a 7 of some kind. I guess he could have 3s. He could have Jack 7 suited. So obviously we're folding. Would love to have known what he had though. This would be an open if it folds to us with King 4 offsuit. Open this. Fold to a 3-bet from the button, but continue to a 3-bet from the blinds. Especially to a big 3-bet there. Let's see what happens here. So we'll open here because we've got such low VPIP from the 2 players that have position on us. If they were higher, I would probably fold this from below Jack. Here, it's just going to be a fold. So here, let's get next with the big blinds defending range. He's got more 2x and more 6s than us. I'm actually going to check this back. Great card for us here. So we will call for 2 streets. I'm almost inclined to raise here, but I think he might over bluff. If the flush doesn't complete, okay, now we got a boat, so obviously we're gonna raise. He doesn't have enough 2x here. He's got other pocket pairs and 6s that he can call. You know what, we're just going to call. He might have 6. I think we can raise. I think we can get called by worse pocket pairs. Chop. So a bet on that flop, I'd probably have to bet a polarized sizing, I think, in order to get him to fold his ace high with a diamond. And I don't think my range is really wants to bet there. I will defend this. Big blind. Get a back door and an overcard. But I think this is just going to be a check fold. I think he's checking back some ace high, so we're still going to check fold. I've obviously got no outs to improve, really, so we'll fold. It's going to be a fold facing a hijack open. I will open this from the cutoff with a fish tagged here. This guy's a decent reg. Obviously we've got a very good hand. I think we're incentivized to bet polar here. think I'd bluff with hands with 2 backdoors and overs. We can get called by worse nines, over cards, pocket pairs. No top boat. I think he will stab too much. I think he's floating a lot here, so we'll go for a check raise. I think our bluffs, if we pick up club equity, are incentivized to check raise here. Especially this small sizing, I want to punish him for that small sizing. I'm just going to fold here. We'll raise to 26 big blinds. And obviously I'd like to get called, but I also don't mind getting folds because I think he's overstepping there and it makes this tough to play against. This is typically the worst hand I'll open in the cutoff, worst unsuited ace. And I think given the opponents, obviously we're not gonna be called 3-betting here. We'll 3-bet. I'll open. And exploitively only open a 2.5 here. Yeah, I'll open a 3. Hoping to get some calls from the big blind. Should have a note on this guy why I tagged him as a maniac. I'm just going to fold here. $10-7 off is just not a good hand to play passively and not strong enough to 3-bet. Queen Jack off will not be a 3-bet here either. I'll open 10-8 suited. Oh man, tiny 3-bet. Out of position though. We'll open Jack-9 suited from the cutoff. Just gonna fold without a read. I'm facing a small 3-bet. I just think that that's it. We're just dominated so often with that hand. So if we don't flop a flush draw or get an 8-out straight draw, we're not very happy to continue. Not a bad flop for our hand. Obviously our ace is not super happy. But we will call once with a backdoor. Well, really 2 backdoor draws here, especially to such a small sizing. I'm actually tempted to merge my 3-betting range, but he's just got too many ace-X that dominate us here. If this were like King 4 suited, I probably would 3-bet. It's a good hand. Gives us a little bit of relief on our kicker sometimes. It's also just a good hand. If I didn't have so much showdown value already, I would probably lead out in this spot with this hand. I'm going to hope for a ace or a 10 or a high card. There we go. There's no wrong with losing to ace queen. In position, this is a board I'm going to be betting my entire range for a small sizing on. And we will probably chop it up. Ah, no. Interesting. I think I'm going to bet once more here. I think he has flush draws that we want to charge. I'm going to size up a little bit just to give him the wrong odds to call. We'll check back almost every river except for maybe an offsuit 9, obviously continuous. I'd rather not have the 10 of diamonds there. I think with the 10 of diamonds, that's actually probably a better check back. Not that I think he's going to bluff a lot on the river when we check back turn. I just don't think he has enough unmade hands to call with. And he can have some jack X that we obviously don't want to grow the pot against. This is the worst hand I wouldn't open here, or the best hand I wouldn't open. I would open 6-7 suited, but I think we have a hard time playing out of position, and we're probably getting too many calls from low jack. This is going to be a 3-bet facing a raise. This is the worst king I open from the button unraised. We're obviously folding to a 3-bet. Sucks. A 3-bet this hand if we see an open. I think generally villains aren't defending 3-bets enough. We've got a pretty good hand facing a wide open range. And I just think we get it through a lot. But we're not in terrible shape when called, and I certainly, it's just too good a hand to fold. This would be the worst hand I would call a 3-bet in this formation. I've found generally that those long, it's like a reverse timing tell. He's trying to make me think he's thinking about donking with strength here. So I bet a little bigger than I normally would. I think I get more folds by checking here and then bluffing river. I can represent some bad aces and get his like bad 8x to fold. If he bets, I'm gonna fold. So I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna try and target missed straight draws and 8x. I think 6 big blinds will do that. Send this little water showdown volume. Okay, 9x. We weren't targeting that. he unblocks my blocks, my missed draws. I don't hate that. Three bet, fold to a 4-bet. Out of position, Jack just sucks, or at least I suck at playing it. Dot kicker. This is the kind of board I'm going to bet my range. For a small sizing here, I will call 3-bet. So when he calls here, I think he's got a lot of worse 9x. I don't think he has a lot. So we want to give him a tough decision there. And I think like a half pot sizing is going to do that effectively. We're giving him the wrong hand if he picked up like a good flush or straight draw there as well. I typically use this as a 3-bet bluff hand facing any open, and the button would be no difference. I will also 4-bet relatively small facing a 3-bet here. So we're going to make it 23 big blinds. More obviously if we get a cold call from this fishy big blind player. This is going to be a 3-bet as well. And we'll fold to a raise. Got him. This is a fold. This is a raise. We're going to bump it up a little bit. We'll just call here. He's got a relatively tight VPIP. Check and call once here. Big bet. This kind of hits my continuing range. I'm just going to fold to a big bet on the turn though. I will 3-bet this. It's the bottom of my 3-betting range. Facing a low jack open. Never depending jack 3 off. We've been facing a small blind raise. So this is a hand where facing a min open, if we had a fish in the blinds, I would call, but I will otherwise fold. I typically fold small suited connectors facing RFI from all positions except for button. Though I will exploitatively call small opens if I think we can go multi-way, where our chances of getting paid off if we make a set are higher and our decisions are pretty simple on the flop. Threes are a pretty bad hand even so there. We do risk going set over set. But I think at NL5 we can get away with it. This is obviously a good hand with a gut shot and the second not flush draw. We're going to bet, and we're going to bet relatively large in position. Even though I would have considered calling. Let's call this. This is the bottom of my linear 3-bet range facing a UTG open. Check and call here once. We're happy to get the fold there. It's a good hand for his, good card for his range. He's gonna have. So when he checks back, I expect his range is some air and maybe some 9x. There isn't much 9x that beats us. I think betting small here makes sense for value. I think we can get called by ace-x as well. I think all of his 2-pair and better continues. So when he checks back, he's really capped to bad 9s. And we put those hands in a tough spot with a bet. We'll be 3-betting this, facing a button open, 4x. Facing these min opens, I actually go a little higher than 4x. I find particularly with fish in the big blinds. If we just made it 8 big blinds, we're going to get a lot of calls. This guy I have some history with. He has been pretty aggressive. I think we are dominating some of his ace-x and queen-x that he might. I'm going to call once. So obviously we're losing to ace-jack. I just think he's going to do some weird things here. So jacks and aces beat us. We block aces. I do think we'll call once here. So we're going to randomize. We're going to call like 20% of the time. And we get there with the watch. Oh, he got there on the river. Man. That's a interesting cold, cold 4-bet. Huh. I did not have any straights in his range there. Crazy. So that makes me want to start 5-bet bluffing him. If he's going to have like a pretty bad suited one gapper. Bottom pair and a couple of backdoors. We'll definitely call once here, especially in position. I think he shuts down with a lot of bluffs. We turn a flush draw. Happy to see another card roll off. And I think we fold on the river here. So on that call, I was just gonna call when I looked at my watch, and we were less than 15 seconds into the minute, and we were. And obviously on the bad side of the random number generator with that run out. So when we face an imposition call, I'm mostly checking. This board is really no exception. He's got more two pairs, and we have a slight nuts advantage with the queens. With the made hand, we're definitely going to be checking. Second pair here, I think we can bet. We're betting a little bit bigger just because of the flush draw. We're less worried about overcards. They're going to fold anyways. Here, I just think it's a fold. We have so little opportunity to improve. This is a hand that, without rake considerations, I would definitely call an open. But here it forms the top of our folding range if we had faced an open from under the gun. So this is a squeeze spot here. We've got a good hand. It retains its equity when called. You know what? We're so well served by flush over flushing somebody, though. We're just going to call here. Obviously a very bad flop for us. It's not a bad flop for us to have a leading range. Probably the only one who flops boats here. Multi-way. I do think I'm going to lead. I'm going to lead there. It's probably wrong to be leading my whole range. But I just think at these stakes, exploitatively, we can get away with it. Though I'm open to feedback on that for sure. That hand there, I wasn't really paying a ton of attention. I think he's probably overstabbing. I also think a continuation bet would have served as well. I just find myself getting into a lot of trouble when called out of position without a lot of equity to improve. That guy sucks. Oh, good. That's just a fold. Obviously, would have been a nice flop for us, but just can't really continue the offsuit aces. One of these hands where you pray you get 3-bet, put in a big 4-bet. So obviously 8-9 is the nuts here. He's got some 8-9 off potentially in his calling range. With the ace of hearts, though, I do think we want to bet. If we were raised here, we'll call and check. Raise a lot of turns. So 4x gets there. 9x gets there. No, I don't want to have these at odds. Actually, I didn't really want the ace of hearts this whole way. I wanted to be bluffing with that card. That should have been fold. I didn't play that hand well. I should have folded to his raise. So much of his bluffing range there that doesn't complete with the 5 or already have a made hand is beating us. It's the bottom of our opening range from the low jack. Be nice to get some value betting opportunities here. So facing the min raise here, I don't know if he's just attacking my small sizing. We're gonna make it pretty big though. We just want shorter stacks with this hand. And if he has something like ace king or king king, maybe we get a 4-bet and we can jam. Or get a 5-bet rather, and we can jam. I think he's just attacking my small sizing though. I have noticed that, so I'm 2.2 Xing it from the low jack, 2.5 Xing it from the high jack, 3 Xing it from everywhere else except for the small blind where we 3.5 X it. And I've found those close to min opens to 3-bet, anecdotally at least, a fair bet. Play for about 5 more minutes and then I gotta start work. Appreciate anyone who's made it this far. Not a ton of interesting spots, but would love feedback from those of you who have it. If anyone watches this. This is definitely a 3-bet for me facing an open. As part of my linear 3-bet fold strategy. Facing RFI. And of course clear open from the button. This is a fold. All 3-bet 8s plus, facing an open from really any position, cutoff or button. Probably fold it in the hijack, and then I fold lower pocket pairs. Check raise here. I think what I'm assuming this player type to be does not defend appropriately on boards like this. And with 2 backdoors and 2 overcards, we've got a lot of equity to improve, but we also don't mind just folding later on. So there'll be a 3-bet or an open. This is our 10-8 suited 3-better. So obviously a good good flop for our hand here. Second pair, flush draw, and some straight draws on the back door. This will serve sort of the one hand or hand type that I will check back with a flush draw. I do like to have some hands that check the flop when the flush completes. When he checks back again, I think we're still gonna check. He's got maybe some bad ace-x that we could value in ourselves against, and then we can really comfortably check in, call, even a big bet. So we've got a great situation here where we flatted the big blind and made bottom set. So do we want to raise? I think we don't want to raise, but I do think we like calling. And excellent. That sucks. So we're going to we're gonna bet targeting bad ace-x and flush draws. Here I'm going to 3-bet this. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. So gutter. 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw, but a board that really doesn't serve us all that well. Our made hands here are mostly over pairs that aren't too worried about protection. I think out of position we're going to start with a check. So we make top pair. He still has some over pairs, probably 9s, 10s, but he also has a lot of just unpaired overcards. So at this point I think our hand does benefit from protection. So we'll bet just to fold out like unsuited broadways. Get value from, hands that picked up a flush draw. We just want to know that we can check and call or even bet when a queen or a jack or a king rolls off. Obviously, I'm not expecting to fold out a lot of his strong ace high there, but I still think we're in a good position here. This is the kind of board I'm definitely betting. Well, yeah, I'll bet range here. Maybe not total range. I'm going to have some give ups, but 2 overs backdoor flush. Okay, so he's saying what, 5-7? I guess he could have 5-7 suited. I probably can't. 6-8 suited. I probably don't have that. He definitely, yeah. Now as I think about it, this isn't probably a good board for me to bet range. Those are getting easy folds. That should have been a check back. I was thinking about that other hand a little too much. All right, I'm going to wrap here. Thank you for watching. Sit out. And look forward to hearing what you guys have to think.